Hey everybody, as you watch this video, please keep in mind that I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I'm speaking to you from experience and I'm passing on information that I received from a doctor. So just keep that in mind when you give this a try. Thank you, everybody. Hey everybody, Jed Johnson here from dieselcrew.com. I hope you subscribe after watching today's video. I know this is going to be a little bit different from what you're used to seeing, but it's something that I've had to deal with and some of my good friends have had to deal with, and I think this is something that you might want to try. If you have a history of sinus infections, then I'm going to suggest something to you that has helped me and several other people. So first off, just so you know, I have dealt with sinus infections my whole life. I clearly remember sitting in pain in 7th grade, sitting there with a sinus infection. And it hurt so bad, the only way that I could really concentrate in class is by putting tremendous pressure on my sinus right here and then pulling like this laterally away from my nose so that I could breathe. It was that bad. All the way up until 2014, I believe. Yes, 2014, I had 6 sinus infections and I had to go and get antibiotics like 7 or even 8 times. Some of them were so bad, like the medicine that I got didn't work. Finally, at the end of 2014, I had to look into something else. And in early 2015, I actually got a bunch of stuff done. I got my sinuses scraped. I had a deviated septum. I got that fixed. I also got my uvula removed. And there was something else that we did, and I don't recall what it was. But I could not believe the difference. Once that all healed up, I was so open. I could breathe so well. I could sleep better because I wasn't trying to breathe through little pencil holes. Basically, the doctor said that my sinus cavity was so swollen up and damaged that I had little pencil holes, like pencil lead that would be in a mechanical pencil. That was what my sinuses were like. So she went in there and opened them up, you know. But the difference was tremendous. And I didn't do anything else through 2015 to take care of my sinuses, really. I just lived life, you know, as anybody else would. And I was like, yeah, my sinus infections are gone. I'm pumped. I'm feeling good. Started seeing really good training results. Didn't have a single complaint until late fall. I'm thinking like end of October, November, I ended up getting a sinus infection, needed medicine for it. Now I'm upset. I mean, this was several $1,000s that I had spent on this operation, and I'm still getting sinus infections. So I started doing something on almost a daily basis. And since then, I have not had one single sinus infection. All right? So, all that aside, this is what I'm going to suggest to you. This is my favorite version of the product. But basically, in the morning, when I take a shower, I'm going to do 1 shot of saline solution up each nostril. Boom. That's it. This is my favorite kind. This is Arm & Hammer Simply Saline Nasal Mist. But you don't have to get name brand stuff. I just like this. It's a very fine mist. I'm not going to spray it, but it's a very, very fine mist here. You can buy other bottles that have a much thicker spray that comes out. But anyway, once in the morning, each nostril. And that's pretty much all I do now, and I have not had a problem through all of 2016. There was one day in the late spring where I was using a weed whacker for a couple hours at least, and it put a lot of dust, a lot of pollen, grass, shrapnel was getting in my nose. I'm sure I didn't wear a mask or anything like that. So I ended up getting blocked up. All I did was up the saline spray to 3 times a day, and it was gone after like a day or 2. Did not have to get medicine or anything. That's really all I did, and that's all I've done since then. So saline solution, that's what I would suggest. Now, take note, I'm not a doctor, but this is the stuff that the doctor who worked on my sinuses, the ear, nose, and throat specialist that worked on my sinuses, told me to use this multiple times a day when I was recovering in order to keep the area moist. One of my friends said that someone told him you shouldn't use this because it dries your sinuses out. I don't know how there could be that kind of confusion between my ear, nose, and throat specialist and whoever told that person that. They specifically told me to use this to keep my sinuses moist in order to speed up the healing process. So, I've continued to do this. I do not ever feel dry in my sinuses unless I'm around a lot of dust, a lot of chalk dust maybe, or if I'm doing a lot of smelling the smelling salts during the lift. I try not to do that really, but if I do that, I might feel a little bit dried out. But never have I felt dried out from using saline solutions. So, yeah, I encourage you to do that. Sinus infections suck. They are really bad. They get in the way of your life. They get in the way of your concentration in school. They get in the way of your workouts. You just can't do anything as intensely as you want to when you got a sinus infection because you feel so bad. This has worked great for keeping sinus infections away from me. Remember, I had 6 sinus infections in 2014. I had 1 in 2015, and I haven't had any since I cracked down, quit being such a wuss, and I've committed to doing this every single day, and it's made a huge difference. So I encourage you to do it as well if you have sinus infections. Some other things, I don't recommend blowing your nose. The only time I'd come even close to blowing my nose is after doing this in the shower. I might go like this and blow out my nose lightly, very, very lightly. But I don't use tissues and try to blow my nose in the conventional way. The information I've received is it blocks, it actually propels things back up into your sinuses deeper and makes it harder for them to come out. Probably one of the best ways to go about doing things is if you know it's a high-risk day where you might be breathing in pollen and other kinds of contaminants into your sinuses, is to get those cool screens that go on your sinus, your nasal passages. But I looked into those and they were like $100 for a pack, so I haven't jumped on that yet. I hope it helps you out. Let me know. If you have any other questions on sinuses, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll help you out as best as I can. Thanks a lot, everybody. Make sure to subscribe. Check out dieselcrew.com. All the best in your training. Hey, and living. See ya.